Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of B3rdPower, where we
Yes.
are being intentional, bridging gaps, and building community. Hey, Sherri Bear.
Hey girl, what's going on, T Lynn?
I am fantastic. What about you?
I'm amazing. I have no reason to complain. I am here and no complaints at all. Had an amazing weekend. What about you?
Girl, let me see. Oh, I got some. No, wait. I got
No.
something fun to tell you. But but,
Okay.
but we're gonna go on to catch up, right? We're gonna go on to catch up. So this weekend, usually we start with you, but since you asked me how was
Yes.
my weekend, I'll start first today. For the first time in I don't know how many years, last night I went on a bike ride with my kids and my husband.
Riding the bike.
Riding a bike. I rode a bike,
Lord
girl.
have
Yes.
mercy.
But it was so good because my husband had gotten us, we had gotten bikes and stuff because my son loves riding bikes. So we had gotten bikes last summer, or last spring during the well, I guess it's still a pandemic, but last spring we had gotten bikes to try to get out, but they went riding and I didn't because I was like, listen, the older you get, the more, I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I realize that bones just don't heal the same.
Yeah, that's why I was like riding a bike.
Yes. And so it was used to be one of my favorite things to do as a kid. I used to love riding my bike. And so now I ride spin bikes, but that was okay. So I went out last night and I'm a little short, but it worked out and I had a blast. It was cold. I was freezing when I came back in, but I had a really great time. So that I would say that was the highlight of my weekend because the rest of the time I just was prepping for the week to come, trying to relax and prep for the week to come. But
Yeah.
that was fun. I figured you would like that. Yeah, I went bike
I
riding.
love that. I wish that I had that the nerve. I definitely don't see myself getting on a bike or skates or anything because, like you said, at this age, baby, if something happens, breaks, splits, fractures, or whatever, the healing is just not the same, honey. It's just not the same, and I don't think I'm ready for it. It's just not ready.
Listen. But I had a blast, and it's so funny you said skating because I was telling James and I were just talking about that because we were talking about the last time we went ice skating how nobody would skate. Like it was just me and Samaj, and I was like, "What y'all doing?" And then when I went roller skating, my legs was killing me, but I did it because I'm like, somebody got to get out here with this baby. But my husband is like, "No, I'm not doing it." So
I'm not
at least
doing it.
at least he goes and rides the bike. So I was the one that was reluctant to ride the bike, but I had a great time. So what did you do this weekend? How
Oh
what did you
man.
do to just get some self-care in and motivation and propelling yourself forward? And I said that because I know what you did. So what did you do this weekend?
Well, this I had an amazing weekend. It started on Friday. Everybody knows that I sell paparazzi. I'm a paparazzi consultant, and so we had a small mini retreat up in Deep Creek, up in the mountains. It's just amazing and beautiful, And I just love being out in the mountains and with nature, period, because it's just different,
Yeah, it
So
is.
it was a great empowerment session. We had talk, people talking and inspiring us, and leadership came, and it was really, really nice. I did an amazing talk. Everybody liked it. It was called, I'm not sure if many people know, but last week was National Introvert Week. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know, now you know that your girl is an introvert. I'm very much an introvert, but I don't mind pushing myself beyond that comfort zone to get out there. And this weekend, it really showed because I was really to myself a lot, and I had to kind of make myself mingle, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, just I'm just really quiet. But the name of my talk was Life of the Party, The Reset, Becoming Boldly You. And of course, I love acronyms. So reset stood for review, evolve, shift, encourage, and train. And literally, train is to train your mind. to reset yourself to becoming bold. So I did a
Awesome.
talk on that, and yeah, it was well received, and I just had a good time. I had a good time, and I'm just literally
I'm
getting
over
back.
look, I'm over here laughing because I'm like, out of the two of us, I guess I'm more of the introvert out of the two of us. You're more of an extrovert than I am. But
At
when you said
times.
I'm an introvert, I was like, you nuh-uh. But yeah, shout out to all the introverts out there. Listen, I saw some great tips from introverts over the past week in celebration of National Introvert Day. And they were just talking about some great things, like even with job interviews, how to market yourself, how to interview as an introvert. And I'm like, people, we talk about being introverts, but sometimes I don't think people think about that part. Like for me, being quiet, marketing is not something I do. Like I'm an extrovert when I have to be, but marketing is not something that, especially when I had to do it for myself, it's just not something I do. I have to get somebody to help me with that. But it was great tips. So shout out to all the introverts out there. We can
Yeah,
do it.
and
We
it
can do
goes
it.
bigger. It's even bigger than that. Like introverts are people who really don't like crowds. I don't like to be in a lot of crowds, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's really draining on me mentally to be
Mm-hmm.
around a lot of things going on around me, and
At
that's
one
really
time.
draining
Yeah.
for me. And sometimes it's hard for me to focus, you know what I'm saying? Because my creative mind keeps me going. So as I'm listening over here and I'm listening over here, my creative is always going, where I'm either creating and I'm writing, or or I'm trying to figure out where the conversation is going. So,
Right.
somebody's not happy. But yeah, so introverts is bigger than even, and it's the physical response that you have being an introvert, right? So the
Yeah.
sweating, the really getting nervous, the all of that, and that's very much me, very much me.
Yeah.
So Alan
I
said, "That's
totally agree
me,
with that.
Mr. Introvert."
Yes. That see, Alan agrees with me. Hard to believe Sherri is an introvert. That's what I'm talking about, Alan. I'm like, you, but I do agree with her. She has her moments, but for the most part, she get in and mingle. But yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree with
going to
you.
sell
Like
myself.
nothing.
I'm not going to brag on myself. I'm just not that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather be behind the scenes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like for me, I can function sometimes in the noise, but nothing makes my socks go up and down than to be in a quiet space, get me some good
Right.
jazz going on or some good music, something I can vibe to. And baby, it's on. I can work like I'll look up and I'll be done sat there for 4 hours working on something because I just found my flow just in being quiet. And yeah, so I agree. The noise sometimes, being around a lot
It's
of
too
people, it
overwhelming for
is,
me.
yeah,
Yeah. And
it
as much
is
as I
because there's so
love
much
being out
going
in the
on.
community and doing things and being involved, that's because that's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? I
Right,
know that
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be out in the community encouraging people. That's what I'm supposed to do. So it takes
right.
me out of my comfort zone. It doesn't mean that I want to do it. It just means that
Yeah,
that's what I'm supposed to do. And I know that, and I am determined to keep my seat in heaven. See, it's row C, seat P. I have to keep my seat, right? Because if I don't, somebody might grab it. So
that
I have to
girl,
keep my
that
seat.
girl, that girl.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, yeah, we have an amazing show for you guys tonight, and we don't want to delay because we want to give our guests all the time they need
Yes.
to share these huge nuggets of just wisdom and love that they have for you. So in order for us to do that, you guys know what we got to do. We got to take a quick break. But when we come back, our guy Jeffrey Lyles from Lyles Movie Files will be joining us for the Critics Corner. And I don't know about you, but he always has something fantastic to
Yes.
tell us about when you want to unwind, to give us good things to watch. So we'll be right back on the other side of this break. This is B to the Third Power. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com. Welcome back to B3rdPower. Listen, we are super excited to have with us tonight none other than our friend Jeffrey Lyles from Lyles Movie Files for the Critics Corner. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey.
We're fantastic.
Outstanding as always. Good to see both of you.
Awesome sauce. So, a lot has happened in TV in the last couple of weeks. I know I've had a show that hurt my heart, but we ain't gonna talk about that just yet. I'm gonna see if you gonna talk about it before I talk about it. But what you got for us tonight in the Critics Corner?
I mean, you had to set it up. So what show are you talking about? Because I'm sure you and I have been watching a lot of the same TV. So what are you talking about?
So I'm talking about Grey's Anatomy. I was not ready for what happened.
I watched Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my gosh!
I watched Grey's Anatomy. Yes.
You're gonna have to go binge watch. No, you gotta go binge watch the 14 seasons.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Notice I said 14.
Yes, that's a lot. That's a real commitment. That's more than getting Sherri to watch a couple episodes of the TV show that we watch.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But what do you have for us that we watching, Carmen?
Okay, so I thought you were going to talk about This Is Us. We have the Pearson clan coming together. Everybody's dealing with newborns, and Beth and Randall are experiencing an additional later phase of parenthood while they are adjusting to having teenage daughters and all of the misfits and all the crazy adventures that come with that. I'm still not sure if I'm really liking all the different stuff they're throwing at everybody in the family. I kind of want Toby and Kate to just have a little moment of normalcy, but it seems like every episode they have something else coming, and it's just craziness. But I feel like, unlike them, right, I would be like, oh, movie star brother-in-law, you want to help out? Okay, yeah, that'll work. Thank you. Because I'll keep sending out these resumes, doing the Zoom conferences, wearing my shorts, and having my tie on, my background falling. But if you want to help out for a little bit, I am not too proud to say, no, thank you, sir.
I think okay, so I agree to a degree, because I was like, wait a minute, they just try and help you get over, but we don't know Toby's background, so we don't know his backstory. We haven't gotten enough of his backstory to know
which is crazy,
why he would respond to something like that. Yeah. So, but again, he's an addition. Yeah, but he's an addition to the cat, to the family. So we don't really know very much. We know some about Kevin's fiance. I can't even think of her name right now, but we know a little bit about her. But with Madison, but we haven't explored too much about Toby. So I think if we were to look into Toby's background a little bit, we could better understand why he responded the way he did, just in the sense that I want to provide for my own family. So that's what I think he was coming from. But you know, I get what you're saying. It's been a lot going on. It's still a lot going on in the show. But I love the relationship between Randall and why are all their names skipping me tonight? Between Randall and his daughter. No, not Beth. The oldest, the Deja. Thank you, Deja. I love the relationship between Deja and Randall. I think that's really sweet, and I love their relationship. But I think if we look into Toby a little bit more, we'll understand why Toby is responding the way he is. That's just my thoughts.
Toby is basically a day one character. They have never spent any time developing beyond. He's the funny guy that makes Kate laugh and is super supportive. And he may have his little issues with depression. I feel like he's a character that we are invested enough in that they can spend more time. Him and Madison, because Madison before was I think I'm fat, and I'm going to this camp or this class with Kate, and Kate is rolling her eyes because, like, why is this skinny girl saying that she has an eating disorder when she actually does? We need to spend some more time on them and Miguel. And I want Randall to have some adult best friends. I don't like the fact that Malik is his closest friend.
Oh, that all the kids are his friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, come on. I know he's a big senator, but we need to introduce some more characters so he can have a best friend that's his age.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll agree with you there. But what else? So what else do we have? Because we could talk. You and I can chop it up about.
We could talk about
This Is Us all night long. Yes. So what else do you have for us? Because I know where you're probably going to bend the corner before the night is over. But I'm gonna let you go. What else you got for us? What's good on the movie scene?
I'm going to talk about the one big movie that came out over this weekend that everybody's been talking about, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This was the culmination of his efforts to get this movie completed. Back in about 2016, he started working on this film as a follow-up to Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And this is where he was assembling the whole Justice League, and unfortunately his daughter committed suicide before he was able to finish the production. And so Warner Brothers brought in Joss Whedon, who directed the Avengers, the first two Avengers films, to finish the film up. Now, unfortunately, that gave us this very disjointed film that kind of crisscrossed with one scene to the next. A bunch of Snyder fans were like, yo, DC, Warner Brothers, let's get that full version that Zack Snyder had in mind, the one that he originally wanted to put out in theaters as two films. And they were like, let's make it one film. And they was like, okay. So then they came to a conclusion that, hey, maybe Zack Snyder has something. So they gave him $70 extra million to finish the film that he always envisioned putting together. It's 4 hours on HBO Max. And you can see the whole thing in one sitting if you have the bladder and the stomach for it. 4 hours.
You said 4? I'm not sitting to watch that movie. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
Take a break because there's a natural break point where you can watch it. It's 2 movies. So you can stop at the 2-hour mark and go, all right, I'll pick up the rest tomorrow, the next day, next weekend, whatever you like. But was it really worth 4 hours? It was worth it because a lot of what got cut out was subplots very much pertaining to the minority characters in the film. So one of the major characters in Justice League is a black guy, Cyborg. His entire subplot basically is scrapped in the theatrical version. We actually get a lot more in that. And it also introduces another character who's part of the Justice League eventually, maybe potentially teased as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's kind of interesting if you're kind of looking at it from that perspective of, oh, wow, all the stuff that got cut out was people who are different colors. So that was very interesting. And it kind of has that epic Lord of the Rings type feel. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I was going to say, so you can actually break it in half and just
you absolutely can stop it at 2 hours. Because the movie's split up into like 6 parts where there's the introduction of part 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And you can just stop it by the time part 4 comes around. And then you can watch the rest of it like, okay, here's a whole other movie that I can watch. And it's the first half is really engaging, especially if you didn't watch the first version of Justice League. But it's a totally different film than what did come out in theaters. So it's a totally fresh experience and much better than what we got to see in theaters originally. But that was the big one on movie theaters or in movies. That is exclusively on HBO Max. There's no plans to put it in theaters as of yet. So Warner Brothers' next big film is Godzilla versus King Kong, which I'm sure you've already started to see a lot of advertising for. And that's coming up in a few weeks along with Mortal Kombat, which is a rated R film based off the video game series. But we're still in that slow, maybe we should start opening theaters, maybe we can start doing some things. So the trickling out of movies is still very, very slow right now.
Yeah. Maybe that'll return maybe by the end of summer. People feel a little bit more comfortable going to the movies. But I'm perfectly fine in my home theater, by the way. I'm perfectly fine in my home
shaking
theater.
her head like no.
Because listen, I will throw this in. This is movie related. I've learned how to make my own home movie theater popcorn. The popcorn that tastes like it. I pop it on the stove. It tastes just as great. So now I'm good. I got my own theater. I don't even have to go to the movies no more, honestly. Except right here, wait till it come out on HBO, whatever, on demand. Watch it right here at home with my movie theater popcorn.
I think that'll
work for me.
Really interesting to see what happens when the theaters open up. We're back for business. How many people are going to be leery of going back and actually wanting to see a movie? And what movies are there to try to make people go, I need to see this on the big screen. My 70-inch TV at home and comfort of my couch is not enough. My homemade popcorn just won't cut it. And I want to pay that overpriced price for that little thing of soda. I want to pay $10 for candy. And like people have gone a whole year without it. And it's like, whoa, this is expensive. So I'm very curious to see what movie drives everybody back to the theaters, because I don't see one on the calendar just yet.
Now, back to TV for just a moment. By any chance, next time you come on, can we chat about what's been canceled and what's been renewed? Because I know the list has come out. Well, I've seen one list, but I don't know if it encompasses everything. But I would love to chat about what's renewed and what's been canceled the next time you're on. Can we do that?
Absolutely. Now, you want to talk about Married at First Sight too?
We got probably about 2 minutes left, but we could talk about it. It's not a lot to talk about. It's not a lot to talk about.
Sure, there's plenty to talk about. Paige needs to say, Chris, we need to call this thing a night and wrap it up. And Chris needs to figure out what he's doing with his life, put his phone down, and learn to listen when people want to tell him something he doesn't want to hear.
You want my honest opinion on it? The reason why I say there's not much to talk about, my honest opinion on the whole situation is they have a show that has so many weeks of filming or episodes that they have to fill, and people have been paid and there's pay stuff, and it's good TV drama because people that agree with it is watching, people that don't like it is watching, people that's irritated and just curious to find out what's going to happen is watching. And so I believe they're dragging the storyline out because they have to fill the airtime and people have to be paid. And it's really, we all know it's a wrap. We know they didn't stay together. That's obvious because you can check that out now. You see different pictures and stuff coming up. And it's just there for entertainment. It's just sheer there for viewings and entertainment. So that's what I said. There's nothing really to talk about. It's a kaput situation. She walked away. They're making her, you can tell in her body language that is not something she wants to do, but they're being made to continue marching out this story to fulfill airtime. That's just my personal opinion.
Word on the streets is they gave her the all clear weeks ago from what we've seen to walk away. Now, normally, if somebody steps out and says, I'm done with this, they have to pay $50,000 to the producers and the show. But in this case, she got a special signed slip that says, you are excused from taking part in this now. And she was like, nah, I'll work it out. So what's happening now is just what she decided to continue to take. But it is wild because I'm like, you should have left a long time ago.
I need Sherri to go watch it. Sherri, did you go watch? I need you to go find it, watch it. I don't know, catch it on Hulu if you got Hulu or something. I don't know. Me and you got to talk offline because I need you to go watch what's happening so you know exactly what we're talking about. This
what's happening.
I want to hear your commentary. No,
you can watch it on the Lifetime
not what's happening. Yeah, I need you to go watch it so that I can just, for the sheer point of, I want to see your reaction. That's all. That's the only reason why I want you to watch it, because I want to see Sherri's reaction. That's it.
And
that's
what is this
why
again?
I want you to watch it. Married at First Sight, the current season.
Okay.
We'll
talk about it offline. But anyway,
see some happy couples. But yeah, this season.
No, I want her to see. I want her to see this one. So when you come back on and you say, let's talk about it. See, I can't even keep my eyes open. You got me blinking over here a million times.
You were like,
so when you come back and you want to talk about it, I want to see Sherri's reaction.
Is this on Hulu?
Yes.
No, it's you can watch it on Lifetime. It's on Lifetime. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, Jeffrey, it's so great chatting with you. We could talk all evening, man, just about TV and film. You know, that's the zhuzh right there. But we thank you for joining, you guys. Remember, you guys can go check him out over at LylesMovieFiles.com, or you can follow him on Instagram at Lyles Movie Files. And lastly, make sure you check out his YouTube channel, Lyles Movie Files. Why? Because if you enjoy what he's given us here, he has so much more and so much more time to share way more critics than he's able to do here in the Critics Corner. But Jeffrey, we thank you so much. We've enjoyed you. Guys, make sure you stay tuned because we have an amazing guest coming up next, Mr. Joseph B. Washington. He is Mr. Average Breaker, and you don't want to miss the nuggets of wisdom he'll be dropping with us tonight. This is B3rdPower. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
Welcome back to B3rdPower, where we are being intentional, bridging gaps, and building communities. And this segment is sponsored by VZD Capital.
Yes.
So we want to say welcome back to B3rdPower. We have an amazing guest about to join us, Brother Joseph B. Washington. Are you here with us?
I am here.
Hello, hello, hello. It's so good to have you on the show, Mr. Average Breaker,
Yes.
the author of Let Average Go: 7 Keys to Turn Your Average into Awesome.
Yes.
If we could have the hand claps.
Oh, how about we just give it to him, right? We just give it, right? That's what
We
you
have to
do.
get some sound effects
Uh-huh.
around here or something because
How
I'm
are
telling
you
you,
today?
I am,
yes.
listen, ladies, I'm doing awesome. And to be on this show, thank you for having me. This was like Christmas. I was preparing,
Oh,
getting my hair done and shaving up and whatnot, and just trying to do the best I can. But I've watched several of you all shows, and you guys are simply amazing. So thank you for having me.
oh,
Well, thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
thank
We
you, thank you.
appreciate that, and we always look forward to having amazing guests, life changers, game changers on our show. And you are definitely one of those game changers that we wanted to have to
Yes,
come share with our audience some of your experience and drop some of your nuggets because it's all about empowering the community. So I know there's so much that we could definitely talk about, and I would like you to start off however you would like to start off to share with us how Mr. Average Breaker got started in what he is now the the founder and author of.
Sure. Well, I've shared this story many times, and I'll cut it way, way down. But as you know, I grew up with a severe speech impediment. I stuttered severely, and my neighborhood, they called me the woo woo boy. I had an amazing mother. Like I said, graduated from Howard University, but my mother also battled with bipolar, and so she had her own, issues as it related to that. So here you have the woo woo boy, you got the mama who's dealing with bipolar, but she loves her child. And I remember Sherri and Lynn running into the house around the age of 8, telling my mother, I said, it's true. She said, what, little boy? I said, I'm stupid and I'm dumb. And my mother was just infuriated. She said, who told you that? I said, well, the kids tell me that all the time. And she said, Joseph, sit down. Now, my mother used some other explicit language that we don't use on this show, but she told me sit down. And she said, listen, she said, you're neither stupid or dumb because you make good grades. And I did. I got A's and B's. She said, you're a phenomenal reader. She said, it's just that your brain and your mouth ain't caught each other. We're going to get them to catch each other. She said, you're just really intelligent and you think really fast, and that's all that's going on, but your mama going to help you. And then she said these words to me that I will never forget. She whispered to me. She said, listen, she said, if you would be willing to participate in your own rescue and not play the victim, your mama's going to help you. And she told my brother to turn the television on. And I remember this movie came on called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier, Katharine Hepburn, and Spencer Tracy, the original, not the one with Bernie Mac, but the original.
right.
And I remember my mother turning on the television, and what she would have me do is I would repeat after what they said. And so I remember seeing this guy, and he said, very well, thank you. And I would say, very well. She said, slow down, Joseph. She said, practice, it doesn't make perfect. I mean, being perfect or practicing doesn't make perfect, but it's going to make you a lot better than what you are now. And so we just went through this roller coaster ride, guys. And, my mother just working with me, putting up cue cards and me having to speak out loud and hear my voice, and I'm crying and my jaws are aching, and my brothers are walking by telling me, we told you he's stupid and he dumb. And so that bipolar done kicked in on my mama. So she letting them know I'm gonna kill y'all when I get done. I'm trying to think to myself, why y'all messing with her, man? So, but I found out early that you don't mess with a mother's child, no matter what issues they may have. And so by the time I was a senior in high school in San Diego State University recruited me as a high school student on their college debate team. Debating against kids from UCLA, UC Irvine, Cal Poly, all of that. But here's what happened. You would have thought that when I went into my adult life, I would be this amazing guy. But how many of you know that when you're raised around average people who do average things, you yourself become average?
Oh, man.
And went into my adult life, although I could articulate now, been to school, great job, but I knew on the inside of me, I was living below my capacity of greatness because I was depending on others to be my echo chamber. I was depending on others to encourage me. But once I found out how to let average go, I became my own encourager because I realized that people feed pigeons, but they shoot eagles. And so I decided to fly like an eagle, forget about all that other stuff. So that's a little bit of the history behind this whole average breaker movement and me helping as many people as I can, ladies, to eradicate this thing called average. It is destroying our family. It's destroying marriages. It's destroying our young people. It's destroying our nation. because we have to settle for complacentness. So that's a little bit there.
That's a lot. That's not a little
That's
bit.
what I'm about to say. Listen,
that's a lot.
You got to chew on that for a second. Got to chew on that for
you really do.
Just a second.
And when people understand that you're not, and I highlighted this in the book, and you're not making the assumption that you were open to change, but you said I assume you were open to change, but I am not assuming you're ready for it. I thought that was really important because a lot of people are ready for change, or say that they're ready for change, you know. So I thought that was a really true and powerful statement.
Right. Because
and I was going to say, I'm going to finish what you said. No, I'm sorry. I was just going to finish what Sherri said. And that's true. You can say you want change, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to do the work. Because change means that you have to become uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable. So they'll stay where they are, or they'll waste your time saying, I'm going to change. I want to change. I want to change. But you're not. And what I tell my kids all the time, and my daughter repeated it back to me the other day. She said, like mommy used to always tell me, like, you have to want it more than she wants it for you. You got to want it more for yourself than she wants it for you, in order for you to do what you need to do.
Right. Change is not change until you change. Period. You can talk all day, but change is not change until you change. Period.
Change is not change until you change. And we're not talking about a piece of change. We're talking about a mental, emotional, physical change, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at Candy. Candy is having a fit over there barking. Yeah, you have to change will not change unless you change. But you know, you have an amazing way of summing up your book just in the acronym of average. And I love it because it led me to wanting to read your book.
Yeah.
Once I heard just the acronym and how you broke that down, I was like, wow, I need more. I need more. And I would love for you to talk to us about the average.
Yeah. So when I decided to, because the original book was called Breaking the Spirit of Average. And so I'm using that now from a biblical context, although I was using it out in the marketplace, but that word spirit was throwing off some of my McDonald's customers, my Clorox customers there in the marketplace. So then I got this epiphany to come up with Let Average Go. But I knew that if I was going to let average go, it would first have to start with me. And the best way it could start with me was to do what I was comfortable with, because growing up, you know, with this speech impediment, stuttering, I'm just great with acronyms. So if you give me a name or something, I've got people that call me and say, hey, Joe, I got something going on. Can you do this acronym? I can do it in like minutes, right? Because that's just how my brain works. So I said, Joe, if you're going to let average go, what will be the process? Well, let's take the word average. And I'll create these 7 amazing principles that, as you know, Sherri, they can be used for any group. So I'm able to customize these 7 principles no matter what the group is. And so the first thing you got to do is adopt a positive attitude. Now, I know it's cliche. I know people hear that all the time, but you need a vibrant, healthy attitude. You know, I tell people all the time, most marriages are not ending because I don't love you. Most marriages are ending because I don't like you. You just got a bad attitude, right? And then when I found out, if you take the word attitude, ATTITUDE, you count each letter where it falls numerically in the alphabet, how many of you know that it comes out to exactly 100? The letter A is the first letter of the alphabet. T is 20, T is 20, I is 9, T is 20, U is 21, D is 4, E is 5. Exactly 100. But knowledge comes out to 96. Hard work comes out to 98. So although you have tremendous knowledge and you're a hard worker, and we don't negate those skill sets, you need them, it is your attitude that's going to determine your success or your failure. Why? It was my attitude that got me to the White House in 2010 to be a guest speaker there for Drew Elementary, which is a school that's in Northeast DC. Kim Davis could have chose anybody to go speak, but because she liked my attitude, she liked the way I presented myself, because I am my personal calling card. So I said, number one, you've got to adopt a positive attitude, right? Then number two, the letter V, you got to value your time. If you guys want to jump in, because this is your show, I don't know if you want me to keep going or do you want to just keep going? Okay.
No, you can keep going.
Okay. And so the letter V is value your time, right? So in less than 30 days, I'll hit 58 years young, right? And I realized that with my time, It's time for me to move opposite of the crowd with my time. So when my beautiful wife and I go to a movie pre-COVID, we didn't go on Friday nights here in Atlanta where you got all them kids, cell phones, yelling and screaming. I would take Wendy to the movies on a Tuesday afternoon around 1 o'clock when we got the theater all to ourselves. And we can play the popcorn game. I can drink the soda with that straw going in there that makes that god-awful noise. And I could also lean over to her and give her a sweet kiss because it was just she and I. And I would tell her, look, lady, I just rented out the whole space for you. Theater's all yours, right? Why? Because we moved opposite of the crowd with our time. So you adopt a positive attitude, you value your time. And then the letter E is enlist the help of a mentor. You need somebody who's going to stretch you and not shrink you, who's going to make you better and not make you bitter. But you need somebody who's going to have the emotional integrity to be honest with you and say, Joe, if you keep doing what you keep doing, you're going to keep getting what you keep getting. You need somebody who is willing to confront your issues. Because if not, they're not a mentor. They're a yes person. Yeah. So we got to adopt a positive attitude. We got to value our time. We've got to enlist the help of a mentor. And then the letter R is read daily. The reading, Sherri, Lynn, helped me overcome somewhat of the speech impediment. Now it comes back every once in a while if I talk really fast, you know, and it'll pop back on me. But my mother gave me a dictionary at the age of 11. And she said, Joseph, I want you to learn these words. I remember the first word being aardvark. And then I'd have to go through the letters and teach her. She said, because one day, she prophesied this to me in 1972. She said, because one day, little boy, you're going to be on the stage and you're going to speak all over the world. Guys, how did my mother know, like, that I would be in Israel, to Switzerland, to Trinidad, Tobago, to the Bahamas, building a school in Uganda right now, the Let Average Go Leadership Academy? How did my mother know that I would travel around the United States of America, sharing a message of the boy who they call the woo-woo boy? She said, here's a dictionary. I want you to learn these words. She said, because these words are going to pay you money. And now I don't say this bragging, but I get paid $10,000, $20,000 to run my mouth with major corporations. Why? Because I study them. I know their company better than they do. I customize everything that I do. Why? Because I'm a reader. I don't depend on others to infiltrate my mind and make me think. I read for myself. I research for myself. So I adopt a positive attitude. I value my time. I enlist the help of a mentor. I read daily, right? In fact, and I want to touch back on this reading thing, which is so critical for our youth. See, because most of our people are not dumb or stupid. They're just not strong readers. And when you're not a strong reader, you can't do science. I mean, you can't do science and math. You can't do biology and all that. So I encourage parents to maybe take back the Jordans and go get them a tutor, right? Take back to Jordan and get them some reading lessons, because if my young people can learn the art of reading, they will excel. I did a shirt that says, I read because I believe I can be. And then I would have them fill in what they believe they can be. A lawyer, a doctor, owning the football team, owning the basketball team, not just playing, but being an owner, because words are empowering. You become an etymologist. Yes. You become the words. That Sherri, they pay me because I know how to do crazy things with words. And so they go, I just hear cha-ching, pay him some more money. Or I'll tell them, you know, when I'm speaking to the youth, I'll tell them, I say, young lady, you look very pensive. She said, pensive, you just look like you're in thought. Or maybe you're dealing with some idiosyncrasies. So I'm teaching them you can use other words outside of your own personal vernacular. So we adopt a positive attitude. We value our time. We enlist the help of a mentor. We read daily. The next A is anticipate opposition, because the dream killers are coming. Remember I told you, people feed pigeons, but they shoot eagles. They shoot eagles. As long as you are a pigeon average, people will feed you. They'll be your friend. They'll be around you because they themselves are average. As soon as you make a decision that I'm going to let average go, here they come. They come for you. We agreed we was going to be average and mediocre and go from paycheck to paycheck and just do what we do. Girl, party on the weekends. And then when Sunday comes, we get that feeling in our gut because we know Monday is work day and we know we ain't trying to go to these jobs, opposed to putting yourself in a position to be able to wake up when you finish sleeping. The only notice you give your job is to let them notice that you ain't gonna see me again. Because while I was working here, I was putting together a plan to fly like an eagle. And then you don't tell nobody because you can't take everybody into your future. You can't show everybody what you're doing, right? And so you got to know that opposition is going to come. And then the G and the E, and I'll leave it with this. The G is guard your goals. Dr. Benjamin E. May said something powerful. He said, it must be born in the mind of a man. That the tragedy in life is not that you've not been able to reach your goals. The tragedy in life is you have no goals to reach. It's not that you didn't reach them, you don't have none. Because we won't do what most people need to do. A short pencil is better than a long memory. Write it down. And when you write it down, put it in quicksand and not concrete. So in case you need to make some adjustments to what you wrote down. So I'm gonna graduate this semester. Something happened, didn't work out. Well, then you graduate.
Yes, be flexible.
You don't cave in and give up because it didn't work out.
Yes,
you gave it. You keep fighting. You keep going because this is your life.
Yes,
your life. It's the only life you got. This is not a practice run. So whoever's listening to me, you don't have another one here. This is it. And you got to stop living vicariously through other people, wishing that you were them, watching that show on MTV called Cribs. When Lawrence would come to the door, they bring him in his house, they show him his theater room and all that. You don't have that. Stop living through him. Go get your own. Let average go. So we adopt a positive attitude. We value our time. We enlist the help of a mentor. We read daily. We anticipate opposition. We guard our goals. And finally, we empower our belief system. Who do you say you are? Who do others say you are? Francis Bacon said this. He said, it is a sad fate to die so well known to others, but yet unknown to yourself. Who are you? Who are you? Sherri, when I was coming up in DC, my mama took us to the circus and there was this baby elephant there, and that trainer would bring the baby elephant out. That elephant would do tricks, and I was doing my thing. I was like, ah! But then I went back 20 years later, and that baby elephant was as big as that tent now. And that trainer bought that elephant out, and that elephant did tricks and all that. The same stuff it did 20 years prior to that. So I went in back of the tent and I asked the elephant, I said, Mr. Elephant, let me ask you one question. Why are you in the same place today that you were 20 years ago? And here's what he told me. He said, 20 years ago, I was held captive by force. He said, but today I'm held captive by my belief system because I've been told for the last, this is all I can do. Ladies, I'm here to tell you, I am not the woo-woo boy. In fact, when Clorox gave me that check for $18,000, I looked at it and went, whoa, whoa. You hear what I'm saying? This thing was crazy. And I'm like, these checks is cashing. So I am not who you say I am. I am not the person that I used to be. I am Mr. Average Breaker. I am determined to eradicate the spirit of average in the lives of individuals who are willing to participate in their own rescue. I am a pathway achiever. I am a dreamer. I am looking for people who want to go beyond where they are now to make a mark that cannot be erased. And if you participate in your own rescue and not play the victim, I'm here with you. Because on this other side, when I was in corporate America, doing well, living here in Atlanta on the lake, driving, all that good stuff, I'm telling you, I made a decision that I was ready to wake up when I finished sleeping because I'm not a morning person. So now I get up when I want to get up. And it's been like that since 2003. I'm not clocking in with nobody, and nothing wrong with clocking in because I tell people, if you work in a 9 to 5, you use that. That's your ministry. You make sure you use that to your advantage. Don't let them use you. But if you got something pumping in your veins and your heart that's bigger than where you go at each and every day, then give yourself a chance. Because even if it don't work out, you can always go get a job. But what if it works out? What if you all didn't do this? What if you all said, no, we're not prepared to do this. This ain't for us. This is for other people. It would be guys like me who would not be blessed to be on this platform that's built on excellence, that's built on two sisters who came together, who said it don't matter who get the credit. Let's just get the job done. You guys are the epitome of what an average breaker is. All day, every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You make me really tear up because that's just not only just drop mic moment, but it's just, so encouraging because you're right. We do. And even the best of us, we still have to fight with this thing of letting average go.
Me too.
And people look at motivators and speakers and coaches, and they look at us like, oh, well, y'all, no, we're human just like everybody else. So, and I've heard you say before, I have to fight this average thing myself. It's just doesn't happen. It's just not going to happen for you. But there are things that we have to change, get uncomfortable, and just keep pushing on to make things happen.
When we finally understand this principle here, I want y'all to catch this. I want your listening audience to catch this. This is powerful, what I'm about to tell y'all, and you'll understand why we're about to win and win big. The mission we are on does not pause the moment we are in. I want y'all to get that. The mission we are on does not pause the moment we are in. Guys, we're on a mission, but there are moments when we want to quit. There are moments when it's just not to be an average breaker. There are moments when I want to settle for mediocrity because it's so much easier. Nothing is asked of me. There are times when I want to just let my weight go, let my hair go, whatever I want to go, because it's just so much easier. But the mission I'm on to change lives, I have to first be a product of the product. I have to first be the person who is an average breaker. I can't tell you how to be an average breaker, and I'm not myself. That's the problem with coaches and speakers today. Most of them are not living a life of integrity. They're not living what they teach. They just found something that could make them some money, and they're capitalizing off the emotion.
Yes.
And I refuse to do that. I was average. I lived on average boulevard, average car, average marriage, average kids. Everything about me was average. But I made a decision to let it go. So can't anybody listen? Everybody ain't going to the White House. Everybody ain't spending 13 days in Israel like God has graced me to do. It ain't because of me. It's because of you said, Sherri, you said something and I wrote it down. Girl, I'm about to. It was either Sherri or Lynn said this. You said this, and I wrote it down when we was in our little back room thing. You said, when the calling interrupts your comfort zone. Girl, I'm about to teach that. When your calling interrupts your comfort zone. And listen, when God calls you and I, it was never a conference call. It was a single call between me and God.
It was,
God
call.
It was between you and God. What, am I right? And so you got to make a decision. Audience has got to make, they've got to make a decision that although I'm in a stuck place right now, I can work these 7 principles. I can start to get unstuck. Or you may say, you know what? Like me, I have a great attitude. My attitude is solid. But sometimes I'm a procrastinator, right? And so I've got to work out when that opposition of procrastination comes, when I don't want to write. I don't want to write another book. I don't want to type anymore. I don't want to think. I don't want to work on the website. I just want to just watch a movie and just chill like every. But listen, we're not given that option when you're an average person. Now we have time to rest. Don't get me wrong. I have time, I rest and do all that. But for high achievers, for those who are trying to change the lives of other people, we don't have the luxury to quit. Other people got the luxury to quit. Some people you see, they just quit on life, and you go like, what? And you like, you don't got the luxury to quit, man. Sherri, you don't have the luxury to quit.
I was going to say, I just had that conversation with my husband earlier today. I said, it sometimes it's frustrating because you be like, man, why they get to do blah, blah, blah. Like, you ever had that moment, but it's like you're held to a different standard. You're held to an accountability that others are not, but it's because of what you're meant to do. You can't do what everybody else is doing because, and look, I learned that lesson early. I like the pigeons and the eagles, but I heard the story of the chicken and the eagle. I'm not a chicken. I'm an eagle. I have wings, and so therefore I have to fly. I can't do what everyone else is doing, and everybody has their place. And it's nothing against anybody. If you're in your lane and you're doing what you're doing, that's great. But for me, I have to do something different. And for that, like you said, I can't do what everybody else is doing. So when you relaxing and I'm working, I'm called to something different. And I got to move according to what I'm called to.
And your paycheck.
Listen,
your money going to be different.
I'm sorry.
The people who do what you do, your money going to be different. Your paycheck going to be different. Where you live going to be different. What you drive going to be different. People don't understand they have the opportunity right now to make a decision that can literally change their zip code. It can change their drive. And it's not you having it. Attitude. All you got to get is the right person to like you. You know what? I like you. Sherri, then I like you guys. You know what? I have a production guy. Guy produces in Hollywood. I want you all to have a guy. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
It takes a great attitude. You know, and all the other things we talked about. But yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. I mean, just amazing. The nuggets that you dropped, the power in your voice, the passion in your voice. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
there's so much there. Like, we didn't want to stop you because you were on the road and somebody needed to hear what you had to say. So we didn't want to stop you.
I'll be back.
But listen,
Okay.
yes, you will.
Definitely.
Yes, you
Definitely.
will.
We're a family. And so I just want to say this to everybody. Take me 30 seconds.
Okay.
On page, matter of fact, Sherri, I want you to read it. Go to page 33 and read page 33.
33. Okay. Value your time. Time, start with the
No,
quote.
just read the poem. Just read the poem.
There was a very average man who never laughed or played. He never risked, he never tried. He never sang or prayed. And when when one day passed away, his insurance was denied. For since he never really lived, they claimed he never died.
So when the wife went to go collect the insurance money for her husband's death, they told her, we don't know your husband because he never took any risks. He never went out on the limb on the tree where the fruit is. Insurance claim denied. So even if you try and you fail, failure is good because it allows you to start again more intelligently. But you don't want to die average. You want to die fighting with everything in you to let average go. Ladies, I appreciate you all. And I'm going to see you guys at the top. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Listen, if y'all wasn't writing down notes, you're going to have to go catch the replay, okay? And make sure you capture these notes because these were some great gems for anybody that is struggling. Yes, make sure that you go and get the book, Let Average Go. 7 Keys to Turn Your Average into Awesome. Make sure you guys go on over. Is it available at Amazon?
No, so here's the crazy thing. They can only get it through me. I did that on purpose because we're building out a new website. So if they would just email me at letaverago.com, I'll tell them how to go ahead and order it, Cash App it, and I'll send it out as I did Sherri. But we're gonna the new website. We're gonna have state of the art stuff and be able to do that whole average. So the whole Average Breaker apparel is coming out with hoodies and face masks and all that stuff. So I'll keep you guys for it. But just have them just email me at letaverago.com and I'll give them the information how to get their book.
Okay, what's the full email address?
So it's Joseph. I'm sorry, it's Joseph at letaverago.com.
Joseph at letaverago.com. We'll make sure we have that in the comments for you guys to be able to go over and get your book. This has been such a marvelous episode. We certainly appreciate you stopping by. Listen, this is a great way to close out the show tonight. Make sure you go on over to Joseph at letaverago.com. Grab your copy of the book. All right. Make sure you go back and watch the replay in case you missed some of the tips he gave. And last but not least, right, make sure you share this episode with somebody you know that definitely is ready to let average go. Because Sherri and I may not know them, but guess who does? You do. And the only way they're going to get it is if you make sure you share this episode with your friends and family. All right. Listen, it has been such a great episode. Make sure you guys go on over to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. Thank you again, Mr. Joseph B. Washington, Mr. Average Breaker. Thank you, Lyles Movie Files, for joining us for the Critics Corner. And Sherri, before I say our lovely closing, anything you want to say to the people tonight before we go?
I just want to say again, thank you to Brother Joseph for joining us. Thank you, of course, to our favorite movie critic, Jeffrey. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
And I also want to say that we are looking for game changers. If you are that game changer or you want know of a game changer, you make sure you send them our way. Okay. Send us an email at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. We'll make sure that our intern gets in touch with you so that we can get you scheduled on the show. It is all about being intentional, bridging gaps, and
building community. Absolutely. Well, she said it all, y'all. Remember, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those around you. I'm Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherri Cook.
And this has been B to the Third Power. You all have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week.
That's right.